Boy D47 all day for LA and PM, popping off as much rugby league information as possible. Right now, the 1985 Wooden Spoon in the Australian Rugby League, going to the Illawarra Steelers, so you don't miss any crucial rugby league information. Watching this video all the way through to the end as per always. So, said already, every year 1983 up to 1989, it was either West or Illawarra who got the Wooden Spoon, and when West got it, it was because of their woeful pay for thin defence, and when Illawarra got it, it was because their attack was just not up to scratch and they could hardly score any points. Scoring any points at all was a real struggle for them. And whenever West got the spoon, Illawarra finished second last. And then when Illawarra got the spoon, West finished second last. So you get the idea. It was always those two fighting it out. So in 1985, went to Illawarra. Went to Illawarra after they could consider themselves unlucky though, because from the 26 rounds in 1985, everyone had 2 byes. So with Illawarra, they had 2 byes, 5 wins and 19 losses for a total of 14 competition points. Whereas West had 2 byes as well, but 5 wins, 17 losses and 2 draws for 16 competition points, which is how they avoided it. So West 2 draws, one way they avoided the Wooden Spoon. In 1985 round 16, West managed to draw with Eastern Suburbs 20 all, and in round 20 they drew with Canberra 12 all. That was their 2 draws. And also, the 2 times that West and Illawarra played each other, West managed to win. So that's the other way they avoided the spoon. 1985 round 6, West had beaten Illawarra 16-6 at Lidcombe, and in round 19, West had beaten Illawarra 32-20 at Wollongong. So that was how West just avoided the Wooden Spoon, despite their troubles, despite their woeful performances throughout the season. At least Illawarra were competitive and had reasonable defence and tried really hard. But Illawarra's stats, they only scored 303 points and conceded 467, for and against minus 164, which isn't the worst ever, but still very negative. Whereas West, though, scored 311 points in 1985, conceded a whopping 661, for and against minus 350. So at least Illawarra could defend half decently, but it did just boil down to the fact that, when they played each other, West happened to rise to the occasion and beat Illawarra twice. And that left poor old Steelers with the spoon. And I just said that it could hardly score any points, so you wouldn't expect their stats to be very high, and they're not. Illawarra's leading try scorer in 1985, his name was Greg Mackey. He could only get 7 tries. 7 was enough to be the leading try scorer. The leading point scorer, John Dorahy, and he only got 3 tries, 36 goals and a field goal, 85 points. And he was actually a brilliant, legendary fullback for Illawarra. He also played for West, Manly and North as well, but for Illawarra a few years, not even a player of his ilk could even get a century of points. So then, the most embarrassing moments, obviously, when Illawarra lost to West in round 6, 16-6, and in round 19, 32-20, like I just said, moments in the sun, the 5 games they did win. At least there was one team they beat twice, South Sydney, and at least they won back-to-back games twice in the season. Illawarra's 5 wins in 1985. In round 3, they'd managed to beat South 23-10 at Wollongong. In round 4, they'd beaten Penrith 32-26 at Penrith, and they had to wait a while for another win. In round 15, they'd beaten North 26-8 at North Sydney Oval, and in round 16, beaten South 14-10 at Redfern, so at least they beat South twice. Their only other win coming in 1985 round 22, an upset win over Eastern Suburbs 24-14 at the Old Sydney Sports Ground. What's the Old Sydney Sports Ground? It's basically Allianz Stadium. It was in the same spot that Allianz Stadium is these days, but it's just a different stadium and it faced the opposite direction, and eventually got demolished, and the new Sydney Football Stadium and the new Allianz Stadium was built in its place eventually. So after that upset win over Eastern round 22, Illawarra obviously had 14 points for 1985, West had 16. With 4 rounds left, Illawarra just needed to produce one more upset win to go to 16 points, equal with West, and then they obviously would have avoided the spoon with their better for and against, but not to be. Like I said, they just struggled to score any points at all on a regular basis, and that's how they got the Wooden Spoon. Just behind West. Then in 1986, it's Illawarra who get it again, and West who finished second last, but then 1987, 1988, West go back to getting it, and Illawarra just avoided it. You get the idea. So thank you so much for watching all the way through to the end as per requested, and thank you so much for ongoing pulverising brutal support. Your boy all day, D47. Toodaloo.